So that's another lesson. And the third thing we learn about this is Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, no matter what, after you decide, you make a decision with a Muslim, even if whatever you decide to do, even if that doesn't go right, they don't blame one another. They didn't say, well, because of you, you're the one who insists to go to war, so now look what happened, look what happened, this happened because of you, because if you would not insist, this would not happen. No, they didn't do none of that, because Allah said in Quran, وَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Once you make your decision, then put your trust in Allah and don't look back. That's what Prophet ﷺ said in one of his hadiths. He said, "One of you can don't you say," meaning one of you cannot say, "Only if I have done this, then this would happen." No. Once you make a decision to do something and ask Allah to help you, even if that particular things did not go right, don't ever say, "If I have done this way, then this would happen." No, because you opening a door for shaitan to make you doubtful about Allah. No. Once you make your decision, then tawakkal ala Allah. فإذا عزمت فتوكل على الله. Once you make your decision, then trust Allah and let Allah guide you. So now, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, okay, fine, so we're gonna go. And he was able to gather 1,000 people in this battle. 1,000 people he gathered. See, they left the same days because right after the Asr, I mean the Juma prayer, the Prophet gathered people and he said, "So we're gonna head it to Uhud. Uhud, Uhud is a many people mistaken by saying Uhud is a mountain. Uhud is not just a mountain. Uhud is a range of mountain. It's like a mini mountain because the landscape of Uhud is about like a mile, 1 mile to like 3 miles long. So it's like a range of mountains. All that area is called Uhud. And Prophet, the reason he went, he took some Sahaba and go to Uhud because he want to position, the armies before the Quraysh got there because he knows the area. He want to position, the Muslims are only what 1,000 and Quraysh are 3,000, so they pretty much triple the numbers of the Muslim. So the only way Prophet could maximize, his soldiers to maximize, the efforts is to pretty much occupy the Uhud area because the Uhud is like a range of mountain. So and like so he would like pretty much settle the armies between the two mountains and leave the Jabal Rumat, meaning we're going to talk about Jabal Rumat inshallah. So that way and just leave one opening for Quraysh to come in because if it was like an open battles, obviously the Quraysh are more populated. But Prophet didn't want that, so he wanted to narrow the area. So even if the Quraysh are about to attack them, they could only attack them through just one narrow area. So that way the Muslim could maximize, you know, the harshest blow to Quraysh. So that was pretty much. Prophet was a genius. He was, oh my God. So he has that idea. That's why he wanted the Muslim to leave so early to occupy this area before the Quraysh got there. So now, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he so what he did, he like I said, he was able to gather 1,000 people, and they only had 100 horses, and 200 armors. That's it. 100 horses and 200 armors, because armors at that time was extremely, 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 expensive. To get one armors is like it would cost you a lot of money. So because of that, many people didn't have armors, so that's why they didn't have many armors. So Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Um, he now he's going to lead the the Muslim to Badr. So when he goes, he divided the armies into three groups. He divided his the I mean his army into three groups. The first group was the Aus, and the second group was the Khazraj, and the third one was the Muhajirun. So he put Musab ibn Umair as the leader of the Muhajirun, meaning those who migrate from Mecca to Medina. Musab ibn Umair, we talk about Musab ibn Umair, he's the one who he was the first ambassador to Medina. So Prophet ﷺ put him as the army general for Muhajirun. And he put for under Aus, he put Usair ibn Hudayr as the general for Usair ibn Hudayr. So, and as for Khazraj, he put Khazraj as he put uh, Hubayb ibn Munzir. He put Lubab ibn Munzir as the general for Khazraj. So when they left, like I said, there were only 1,000 men, about 200 horses, and 200 armors, and only 100 horses. Allahu Akbar. And some even said there were pretty much about like only 100 armors. Some said 200 armors. Some said no, it was only 100 armors. Allahu A'lam. So they left for Uhud in the late afternoon of Friday, so after Friday prayers in Shawwal. So that was the 14th of Shawwal, the third year of Hijrah. That's when they left. So, and then they come to mountain of Uhud. Like I said, Uhud is the range of mountains that are about 1 mile long, uh, north of Medina. So Uhud is pretty much in the north side of Medina. But today, the city of Medina is pretty much include the mountain of Uhud, because back in the days, Medina, the city of Medina, could fit in, like when you go to Medina today, the masjid of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the entire Medina could fit inside the masjid of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahu Akbar. Back in the days, the entire city of Medina, I'm talking about the core of Medina, the city of the core of Medina, could fit today inside the masjid of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahu Akbar. And even the graveyard Baqiya was outside Medina, but today Baqiya became part of Medina. Medina extended all the way to Uhud, because Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in one of his hadiths, he said Jabal Uhud yuhibbuna wa nuhibbu. He said this is the Jabal of Uhud, meaning this is the mountain of Uhud. He loved us and we love him. And in another hadith, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the mountains of Uhud is the mountain from Jannah. You know, so this mountain is is an amazing mountain. That's when people go to Umrah or whatever Hajj, when you get a chance, you go visit this beautiful mountain. Not far away from this mountain, that's what the graveyard of Hamza is laying there, and some of the Shahid also, the martyrs that were killed in Uhud. So one time, Prophet ﷺ was on top of this mountain Uhud, and then he was on top of this mountain with Abu Bakr, Omar, and Uthman, four of them on top of the mountain, and the mountain started shaking, and Prophet tapped the mountain with his feet, and he said, "Usbut ya Uhud, fa inna alayka nabiyyun wa siddiq wa shahidain." It said, "Oh Uhud, be firm, don't move. Don't you know you have on top of you a prophet, and you have not only you have a prophet on top of you, you also have a truthful person, and you have two shahidain, meaning two martyrdom. You have two people who's going to be shahid." Allahu Akbar. So, and Prophet used to say, "Al Madina haram min ayrin ila sawr." So Ayr is like a little tiny mountain, just right. It's in the northern part of Medina, but it's right behind Uhud. So all Medina is haram. We talk about haram. Haram meaning, there are certain things that are haram inside Medina, but halal outside Medina, and stuff like that. So even Mecca is haram and Medina is haram also. So now, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, um, now he's leading the the uh, the Sahaba to war Uhud. So now, in his way there, something amazing happened there. Allahu Akbar. By the time he get to Uhud, I told you he left with 1,000 people, and then right in the middle of right in the middle before they get to Uhud, this man Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, the leader of the hypocrite, he decide not to go anymore. Right in the middle, and not only he decided not to go, he was able to convince 300 people not to go help Prophet with this fight. Right in the middle. Just think about it. Let's say you have a 1,000 army and you're leading to some place so you can prepare war. And out of the middle, in middle of nowhere, 300 people cut themselves off and leave you by yourself. That's what happened. So this man were able to convince 300 people and told them not to go with Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Leave him alone. Let him go fight. Don't go with him. And these 300 people follow him, follow Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. So when he was leaving, one of the Sahaba, one of the Sahaba stopped him, and his name was Abdullah ibn Amir ibn Haram. Abdullah ibn Amir ibn Haram. And he said, "What is wrong with you?" He's talking to Abdullah ibn Salul. He said, "Why would you do this now? Are you forgetting about your promise that you promised? Why are you going to leave your own prophet in middle of the war? He's about to go to war. In the middle of it, you're going to leave him and turn your back on him, and you're going to convince 300 people to live? What is wrong with you? Have you forgot your promise that you promised him? That you're going to protect him? You're going to defend him?" When he said that, this is what Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, he said, "Well, don't worry, there will be no fighting. There will be no fighting." So he said that, "لو نعلم قتالا." He said, "لو نعلم قتالا ما قتلنا." And he said, if we know there will be a fight, we'll fight, but we know there's not going to be any fights. No, no way. No way there will be no fight, you know. And he said, by the way, why would I even have to go and help this guy? He said, he himself, now he's talking to Prophet, he's talking about Prophet. He said, he himself said to stay in Medina and let's defend Medina. But now we agree upon to stay in Medina. And he's going to listen to young people, so some youngsters change his mind to go fight. So let him go with that young people and fight. I'm not going anywhere. Allahu Akbar. This is what he said, right in the middle. He didn't say he's not going at Medina. But when they left Medina, between Medina and Uhud, that's when he's going to say this kind of stuff. You see, this is his treachery, and Allahu Akbar. This man, this is how it's undescribable what he did. So now, um, Handala, we said Abdullah ibn Amir ibn Haram, he's the one who confronted this munafiq and tell him why you want to abandon your own prophet in the middle of the war. And so this man, his son, meaning the Abdullah ibn Amir, his son was the Handala. Handala is the one that the prophet that the angels wash his body and so forth. We're gonna come to Handala inshallah. So, but that's his father talking. So now Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, Allahu Akbar. He's gonna say like, well, I mean, I know there will be no fight, so that's why we have to go back anyway. So there will be no fight. So he's using that as an excuse to turn back. But in reality, he didn't want to go because he felt like Prophet said to stay in Medina, but he changed his mind because of young people. So if you want to follow young people, let him go fight with young people. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quoted this man, this hypocrite in Quran. Allah said, وَمَا أَصَابَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْتَقَى الْجَمْعَانِ فَبِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَلِيَعْلَمَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالَوْا قَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَوِ ادْفَعُوا قَالُوا لَوْ نَعْلَمُ قِتَالًا لَاتَّبَعْنَاكُمْ هُمْ للكفر يومئذ أقرب منهم للإيمان يقولون بأفواههم ما ليس بقلوبهم والله أعلم بما يكتمون الله أكبر. Allah said وما أصابكم يوم التقى الجمعان, the calamity that befall on you, meaning whatever happened to you the day the two armies met, meaning the day of Uhud. فبإذن, this happened because Allah wanted it. It happened because of Allah decree this to happen to Muslim. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا. Why Allah let this happen? Why Allah let some Muslim got killed in the Uhud? Why Allah did that? 70 people were killed. Some said 75 were killed in Uhud among Muslims. Why Allah let it happen? Allah is explaining it in this ayah. Allah said, وَلِيَعْلَمَ مُؤْمِنِينَ. He said it so that way he would know which one are the believers. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا, and he would know which one are the hypocrites. You see, he let this war happen so that way he could distinguish, he could separate the believer from the disbeliever. Those who fight in this war, they are the true believers, and those who withdraw themselves, 300 people who withdraw themselves from the army of Prophet ﷺ, those are the munafiqun. So Allah said, the reason I did this so that way I could separate the Muslim, meaning the believers, and the disbelievers. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ, and it was said to them, he was said to who? That's what I was explaining before. So Abdullah ibn Amir was talking to Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. That's what Allah is quoting here. Allah said, وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ, it was told to them, it was said to them, Ta'ala, come. So Abdullah ibn Amir was calling Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul to come, Ta'ala, come. Qatilu fi sabilillah, fight in the way of Allah. Awidfa'u, even if you cannot fight in the way of Allah, at least defend your prophet. Don't run away. You're leaving your prophet in the middle of the war. Come and defend, and fight. If you can't even fight, at least defend. Awidfa'u, or defend. Qalu, now Abdullah ibn Ubayd ibn Salul, Allah is quoting him. Qalu, they said, Law na'alam qitalan lattaba'anakum. If we know there will be a fight, we would absolutely follow you. But we know there's not going to be a fight. So what's the point of following you? Hum lil kufri yawma'izin aqrab. Allah said, at that day, there are more disbelievers, they are close to disbelieving than to believing people. Meaning these people are disbelievers. That's why they couldn't follow you. That's why they could not defend Prophet ﷺ. That's why they left him in the middle. Allahu Akbar. And then Allah said, يَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ, they would say things with the mouth. مَا لَيْسَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ, it's not in their heart. That's the absolute definition of hypocrisy. Hypocrite, they act like they're Muslim. Their appearances, they even fast, they pray. But inside, they're kafir. They're disbeliever. They don't believe in Allah. They just pretend to be Muslim, but in reality they're not. That's what Allah is saying. They said things in their mouth. They said good speech. They said, "Well, we are Muslim. We believe," but in their heart, no, they're not a believer. Wallahu a'lamu bima yaktumun, and Allah knows exactly what they're hiding. Allahu Akbar. So when seven out of 1,000 people, when 300 withdraw by the command of Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, now what happened? Some now Muslim got divided again. So some group said, You know what? Let's just turn around and fight these 300 people because they betray us right in the middle. We're going to Uhud and they betraying us like that. Let us turn around and fight them. And fight them. We cannot let them just get away. And some other group of Muslims said, no, 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 don't worry about them. We're gonna deal with them later. Let's just go to Uhud first. Once we're done with Uhud, then they're not going anywhere. We're gonna come back to them. You know, we're gonna come back and get them. That's what Allah revealed again. Allah said, فَمَا لَكُمْ فِي الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِئَتَيْنِ. What is wrong with you guys that you split in the matters of the hypocrites? Why are you splitting? Why are you arguing in the matters of the hypocrite? Wallahu arkasahum bima kasabu. Allah already throw them back to what they do. Meaning they used to think, they used to betray you guys by, they used to pretty much uh, they disguise themselves acting like they're Muslim, but Allah is throw them back to their kufr, to their disbelieving. So now you could see it's obvious to you guys, these hypocrites are not Muslim, as you could see. So don't be fighting, don't argue in the matter of these people, this hypocrite, the 300 people who just left. Allah is saying, do not argue over their matters because Allah already exposed their disbelieving by putting them back in their place. Allah Akbar. أَتُرِيدُونَ أَن تَهْدُوا مَنْ أَضَلَّ اللَّهِ. Do you want to guide someone that Allah already misguided, that Allah already led them astray? وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ. Whosoever that Allah misguided, فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ سَبِيلًا. You will never ever find a way for that person. Allah Akbar. That's what Allah said in the matter of this Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul and the 300 people that left with him. So only 700 men, you know, Prophet took with him now to Uhud, you know, and so he put them, and then once they get to Uhud, he put the camp, they built their camps, their tents, and placed everywhere, he placed, the soldiers. This is where you should be. This is where you should be, and so forth. Like I said, he divided the groups into three, and so everyone know where they should be. So they put their tents and stuff like that on Friday evening. So this time the entire Muslims, were pretty much the entire Muslim of that time would not exceed 1,000 people. There's only 700 people are already in the Uhud, but somewhere in Medina and maybe some other Muslim, maybe in Mecca and stuff like that. The entire world Muslim would not exceed 1,000 at that time, particular time. But Allah put barakah in them. Because of them, we have 2 billion Muslims today. Allahu Akbar. So they're gonna camp. They're gonna camp in there. But two groups among the 700 people also. Two groups, two tribes, Banu Harisa and Banu Salama. Those were two tribes among the 700 people. They also wanted to just leave the groups and join the hypocrite, the 300. Allah Akbar. And then Allah revealed an ayah that if it wasn't for Allah, and to if it wasn't for Allah to just convince these tribes to stay, they would have just followed. And this two tribe also, they would boast about it. They said, well, even though we were about to follow this man, but Allah called us the believer. We almost followed this man, but Allah firmed our belief. So we decided to stay with Prophet ﷺ and defend Prophet ﷺ. So that was Banu Haris and Banu Salama. So now Prophet ﷺ settled in Uhud, and he's gonna put some people in Jabal al-Rumat. There's a little small mountain. He's gonna put 50 people on top of that mountain, so that way they would cut off the route. So that way the Quraysh won't have access. And there's already two big mountains that protect the Muslim, and the little mountains. So meaning it's like a four corners, right? So left and right are two big mountains. Those are are Uhud, and from the northern part, there's a small mountain. It's called Jabal Rumat. Prophet's going to place 50 people, 50, you know, archery. The archer, those who would throw arrows and bows. So he's going to place 50 people in there, and he's going to leave the open space. So that way, when the Quraysh comes in, that's when they're going to attack from there. So Prophet, he when he comes, he turned his back against the Uhud, and now he's facing Medina. Allahu Akbar. So that way, no attack would come from the back, from because there's a mountain. So he's putting his back against the mountain, so no one could attack them from behind, because the mountain is a protection. And now the left and right, he could see from the left and right. The left and right, there's, like I said, on the left side there's a small mountains. There's an archery, so they cannot come through it. The Quraysh cannot come through that. And in the right hand side, there's also another mountain. They cannot come through that. There's only one open space. When the Quraysh are coming, so they could see them and attack from them. Allahu Akbar. What a genius. So he placed the soldiers like that and wait for the Quraysh to come in. Inshallah, we're going to stop here, because we're not going to get into the actual battle till next video, inshallah. But this is pretty much the pre-details before the actual battles, the things that took place, before the battles, and the preparation, how Muslims were prepared and stuff like that before the battle, and how things change simply because the Muslim disobey prophets. Allahu Akbar. When he told them to stay, they disobey him. That's what this calamity, befall on Muslim. Befell. I mean, Some Muslims were killed and became martyred because they disobeyed the prophet. Allahu Akbar. So we're gonna give more details about the wars of Uhud, inshallah, in our next video. So we're gonna stop here because of the time. So inshallah, we're gonna give more details, but right now we're gonna stop here because the time, and because we don't want to get into the actual fight also. So we said, Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina azab an-nar. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.